Start off tonight with this screen, the Let's Talk screen, because I keep seeing this popping up over and over and over and over and over. It's basically like to put in the context of exactly the reason why I'm talking about anything to do with AI or was it GPT-4. Um, so I retweeted one thing about an AI tweet that was saying like, oh, you can AI generate a text script for a video, and basically what my thoughts on something like that. Like I'm gonna get like this is gonna be part of the discussion, but just to set it up, the context of the discussion tonight. Basically what my thought was on that is like, well, if an AI is generating the whole script for me, and all I am is just a talking piece on the video, what's the point of making the video? It's literally not my video at that point. It's just, an amalgamation of everything else that's already on the internet. And then that, forms the opinion. It forms, what the person's trying to say in that text format. And then you're just doing like what anybody does in front of a teleprompter. You're just sitting there going, well, in today's news, the world is going to explode and blow up and everybody's doomed. Oh my. It's like that's essentially what they're trying to create of an AI text bot in a sense. So what I wanted to do was actually look through. I just grabbed the first two random tweets because literally after I retweeted that, my whole Twitter just started blowing up with just like, check out this AI thing, check out that AI thing. Oh, there's an AI over this and that and this. AI will make your coffee and do your taxes and all that stuff. And it's just like, oh my god, is this really like this is what they're trying to push like crazy? Like I remember, I'm old enough to remember like the boom of the internet and how everybody's trying to say that AI is going to be the next like big thing of like how the internet exploded and changed the world and whatnot. Now I see where people might be saying that same thing about AI, where it's just like, well, this is going to change the world. But my thing is, we've been talking about AI for 20 years. We've been seeing AI. I mean, if you've ever played a game, you know what AI is. You've seen it work. If you ever use a smartphone, you've seen what it does. You've seen it work. Autocorrect is a form of AI. There's different levels and different degrees of AI. There is, this GPT-4 is just the latest innovation or latest version of it. Now, the tool set that they're trying to make with all this AI stuff is interesting, but I do think that there is a level of creativity that they're also trying to take away with some of these tool sets. I'm not saying it's a censorship thing. I'm not saying it's any of the political buzzword terms or any of that stuff. I'm not saying it's any of that. It just feels like people are trying to be more lazy with content creation and the way that they make videos, the way that they make music and art, and text form stuff and everything. Like if somebody, I mean, you already have basically bots making news articles as is because everybody is so just like, what's the trending thing? I'm gonna type it up and that's what we're gonna post and we're gonna put it out there. Whatever it may be, whether it be a politic thing or a music thing. I mean, we held music magazines back in the day. Rolling Stones, used to make hit articles on artists just because they didn't like them or whatever, because they didn't want to do an interview with them. We have not, calling it a bot behavior is no different than what we've seen in the past with other forms of entertainment and businesses and all that stuff. So when it comes right down to this, though, we need to check out everything to understand exactly what the hell it is that people are talking about. So this was one of the things I seen. Again, this is just like random stuff. Don't play the music. Something like this is super cool. It is taken, it's basically augmenting reality, AR. You have VR, which is virtual reality. You have AR, which is augmented reality. VR is something that you would take and like the Quest 2 or a PSVR 2 or something. You put it on your face and it's a screen that's beaming the image into your eyeballs and doing cool things with your brain, making you feel like you're inside the environments in a virtual environment and you are walking around in the space and all that stuff. It's super cool, super great. I love VR stuff. AR stuff like this also super cool, super great. It's all, this is all AI tech. Pokemon Go is a form of, AI tech. It's literally AI that's going bloop into the world, putting that image on your little phone there of the Pokemon going or whatever. Didn't really play Pokemon Go myself, but yeah, like just what I've seen of it, I'm like, okay, the AR stuff. The PlayStation Vita with its back facing camera, you could place down a QR code on the ground. And I mean, you can still do it. If you have a Vita, go check out the little demo. It was kind of cool. You place the AR thing on the ground and whoop, all of a sudden the virtual map appears on your desk. It was super cool. The Switch also does it with Mario Karts racing, whatever, and then you can literally make a racetrack around your house and go around your kitchen table or whatever. I'm not saying AI is a bad thing. When it's used proper, it's super cool. It's super inventive. It's a awesome tool. It really helps out with productivity. I get that. Let's see here. So you can also generate images and also create different personas. Can I blow this up a little bit? Don't mind all the trending shit. Don't ever look at trending. It's just the worst of the worst on Twitter. Yeah, enhanced GPT-4 just launched for free. You can generate images and also create different personas. Here's 4 use case scenarios. Again, though, it's like, okay, so I have actually used the Bing chat thing just to try and get some information. It worked really well. This for, it's basically, this is just Google search or a Bing search or what started with Yahoo. That's basically what this is. It's the same thing as a search engine. I'm not against this right here. It's like a chat bot thing, which is kind of weird. Usually this is the weirdest thing too, is like normally everybody just goes, go away chat bots on like customer support chat bots, they go away. But then Microsoft and Google brand theirs of like, this is the next cool thing that's trendy or whatever, and now everybody's flocking to it and being like, check out this, I can talk to a bot. It's so weird on that. So yeah, this is like I said, if it's something that's like an advanced search engine that's going to give you search results across the whole of the internet, the thing is, this is going to have the same problem, and it probably already does. I haven't used it a lot. I've just done like 1 or 2 little quick things of like, hey, can you find all the information on this subject? And it does the thing. I'm like, okay, this is just a search engine. Which, again, if you can get information and it's just like an extra source of a tool to get information on the subject, that's cool because it makes people's lives easier that way. Again, that's where AI is like one of the pros. That's the other thing. I'm kind of calling this the pros and cons of AI and content creation. Now, when we actually get to content creation, though, so this is one that keeps this account that keeps popping up on my feed over and over again. AI solopreneur. Chat GPT is just one star in the infinite AI universe. 1,200 plus AI tools have been released in the last week alone. That's a lot of people. I'm kind of curious to know, how long does it take somebody to write one of these scripts up to make the AI actually be able to function? Because that's a lot of coding. 1,200 of them. It's got to be a bunch of either college students doing like project stuff, or it's a lot of people with just like some spare time in their hands. And after the 2020, all that's, all the situation of, you got, the lockdown, stay in your house, people having a lot more time in their hands because of that. And that's maybe what we're seeing. It's been like 3 years. So now that 3 years of development, working on all this stuff, they finally got, it's just like everybody's just got this boom of different tool sets. So some of these, I've looked slightly through these, and some of them like that could be useful. Some of them are just like, it's just laziness. So Kyber, turn your imagination into videos. Kyber AI allows you to generate visual stories of your ideas and put some text, watch your dreams come true. Now, besides this thing really taking a lot of like artwork from people's over, because all it is, like I said, all this AI generation stuff is doing is literally just taking artwork and such. It's essentially going to take all this artwork right here, and it's just going to mash it all together in pretty much this type of a video. So it's just, all this is really doing is just taking other people's hard work that they've done and mashing it together and calling it its own thing, which there's a lot of people have already talked about that situation of like, hey, if there's copyright laws around a lot of this stuff, how does that get around the copyright laws? Which it doesn't. It shouldn't. This is transformative in a way, but you're still taking the core essence of what somebody else did. So there's a lot of ethical, situations around this. But as a tool for like, if they can make animations happen inside of a program when you've already made the artwork, and you can make, say, you're trying to make like a cartoon or something, and you've already made the artwork yourself, and you're just trying to make it go like, hey, I want to make the arms go, like you make something look like it's walking. Then this type of video type of thing would be really cool to see that way, because you've made the artwork yourself, and then it's just helping you animate it where you don't have to do keyframe animations on all that stuff. Because keyframe animations, it takes a long time, it's a pain to do, and it's like one of those things where we wish something like an AI would actually help us out inside of the editing software, not just like come over to our website, type in a couple things, and we'll do it for you like this. And that's where the kind of the laziness starts to creep in, where I'm just like, man, take the tool that animates this, and like I said, like help us make cooler content by giving us more tool sets using AI. That's where I would really like to see AI go. Imagine me, a personal AI art generator. Again, you're just taking something that's already there, and then the AI is, redoing it. So one of the things, I mean, right now what you're seeing with my green screen blanking out my shirt because I'm wearing a green overshirt, that's a form of AI working. A chroma key is a form of an AI. It's like one of the oldest ones that there is. Blue screens, green, whenever they shoot a Marvel movie or whatever, you see the blue screen in the background, and they blue screen it out, and then they key in flames and all that stuff, explosions and everything. That's a form of AI working because it's generating, it's putting the two images, you're taking the background out, you're putting the two images together. Again, AI is really cool, but it's the way that we use it. That's what I'm just like, so again, this is like, it's not needed. AI art generator. You're not like, the way that this essentially works is just like, I mean, if it's taking your face and throwing it in there with like a face swap app or something, that's kind of cool, I guess, for like a profile picture or something. But again, it's still taking the background of something else that somebody made. So let's see here. Mixo AI want to launch a startup product or service. Now, I think this might be one of the best ways that they are showing that AI could be used. Creating landing pages, generate website content, collect customer feedback. So if you can do all this very quickly and easily, that's a plus, I'd say. That if the AI can actually create, but there's only going to be so many different types of a web page. How, like, if you were to create a new social media, and they're like, you type in there, ask the chatbot what's the most popular format for a social media page. They're probably going to give you like a Twitter or like a TikTok, the way that works on the desktop view. Or it might even go like a Twitch or a YouTube, layout. And then you're just going to be copying another website's layouts. So, the innovation of like, when you are creating the web page layout, there is a lot of stuff to where it's like, man, I can't get that to work, but maybe I can do this workaround, and then you start something new from that. Again, the creativity, still should be there. But if it gives you if it gives you customization options, I remember back what was it? There was a website back in the day when I was doing music production where I was trying to make my own like record label websites. And I went on the website. I had the domain for it and everything, and I literally made the website myself. And I was coming up with different ideas. It literally gave me ideas because when you're in the creative process, you get ideas that you normally wouldn't think of. Especially when you're making videos or making YouTube, content or Twitch streaming and everything. Stuff happens, and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that, but that's really cool. Can I make that happen? Okay, make it happen like this. Oh, that was even cooler, And it's that innovation as you're going along that makes the coolest stuff happen. So this is a cool tool. I would just like to see, again, like, use this, but make it to where your creativity shines through in it. An AI powered paraphrasing tool to enhance your writing. So something like this, I'm actually very against, because you're just going to make everybody sound like a freaking robot. You're going to make everybody sound the same, because now everybody's going to be, you're going to have no personal expression in your writing. It's just going to be super to the book, to the T. The reason why I say this is, again, I had the music background, and I've seen there's a reason why I got out of the music world of like wanting to make music is because I started to see the trend of like, well, you have to make everything time precise. Like you can't flub a note at all. It has to be like if you do that, then we're gonna go in. We're gonna that one little note. We're gonna scrub it clean of any weird stuff. If you pull down on a string when you're playing guitar or whatever, we're gonna straighten that back. It's like just wiping the creativity out. I see the same thing happening if people are using this to make scripts for a video. Every video is going to start sounding the same because now they're all just basically the AI is going to make it so right now what I'm doing where I'm adding a pause in there, that AI would just nope, you can't pause. You have to just keep talking. You have to be very fast. You have to be very fluid with your speech. And if you take a second to breathe or think, then no, that's not allowed. It's going to be that type of situation, which I'm very against that because if you have people think and their thought train is going, you're going to have different thoughts that come out. Let's see here. A gorgeous ChatGPT browser extension. Allison, supercharge your workflow with instant access to GPT, ability to use pages as context, powerful UI, assistant persona, simple, powerful. What is it doing? The browser extension, supercharge instant access to GPT. So GPT is just a fancy way of saying AI, I do believe, right? That's where we're getting at with this. Ability to use pages as context. Okay. Social media, write a subjective. Well, again, like if the AI is doing all this while you're writing this yourself, you're gonna come up with different ideas of like maybe I should add this in. Maybe okay. Now I'm like writing this all out. I don't think this idea would work as well. So we're going to cut that out. We'll change this idea into something else. Okay, this idea is cooler now that I changed it up a little bit. This is literally just like every idea that you're throwing at the wall, you're expecting for it to stick. Doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. This is super cool. Like when it's doing so, if you've ever played around on your phone and you had like the mask thing pop up where all of a sudden you're what is it, the AR mask there? If you have ever played around with that on your phone, or if you see like VTubers and all that stuff on all these platforms, this is essentially what it is. It's another form of AI. Like I said, AI is not new. It's like been around for forever, but it's doing lighting, animation, and composing all at the same time. Super cool. It's motion tracking. It's also because there's like stuff flying around the background. Let's get rid of the music. Very, very cool, actually, what we're seeing here. So it's actually adding a city in the background. It's adding a really dumb filter. I hate vignette filters. That's why I always turn it off in games. It just takes up screen space. Like but yeah, it's like it's recoloring it. It's adding stuff in the background. Stuff is flying around in the background. It's also motion tracking. It's turning the person into a robot right there of like, oh my God. I mean, if you wanted to shoot something like you know what this screams to me? It's Star Wars. If you wanted to shoot like a Star Wars scene of some kind, and you wanted to do it in your backyard, but you wanted it to be set in like the what the hell is you know what? Scrap that. Mass Effect. You want to shoot a fan-made Mass Effect thing, and you want it to be set on Omega. Well, now all of a sudden you can do it almost on the fly with AI. That's pretty cool. That's still your creativity is going. And especially if you make the background yourself and you come up with the idea and everything, and then you make like a fan film, put it up on YouTube. I'm giving ideas right here. And yeah, you make that fan film, you put it up on YouTube. And not only, I mean, I would use this as a way of being like, check this out. Here's how I'd want like a Resident Evil movie to be. And the fans can use this technology and tool set and everything to make a really cool fan film that looks like almost on the same high budget as, a big studio over there. Now, all of a sudden, we don't need the studios to make it. We can do it ourselves. I like that because that is still creativity. It's still, it's like fan art basically, and that fan art is super cool because it keeps inspiring the main developers that are making the main product to do even more cooler stuff. sometimes there's a lot of times they take ideas from that fan art and they incorporate it into the original thing. Call it stealing their idea, whatever you want to, but the inspiration right there, people should start feeling like, hey, I inspired that. That's super cool. What else we got? AI storyteller partner. Tome uses AI to create entire narrative. Again, this is just taking away the creativity. Powerful story of any type of content. I hate this. I actually hate this right here. AI story to create entire narrative, generate compelling images, transform documents into presentations. That's the whole, this is the whole point of creativity right here. Why would you take that away? No. Podcasts are long. Luckily, Summly gives an AI generated summary of your favorite podcasts in the world, the best. So yes, I seen this also where it's like it summarizes the whole. So you sit there and spend an hour or two and just, that's just a recording process. An hour or two recording, an hour or two editing, an hour or two uploading, and 2, 4, 6 hours sometimes it takes you to get up one podcast episode. There's that is usually the case. All of the videos, like every video that I make, usually takes about 3 or 4 hours to get done, especially something like this too. It'll take me probably a Let's Talk that's probably going to be a little bit shorter of a Let's Talk like this. It probably takes me about 2 hours to get, depending on how long it takes to upload it. And to think that somebody's just going to come along, and this is where I would just like, if videos became just a whole thing of like, why are you doing it that way? We are putting out videos this way now, and it was just like AI bot's just going to generate the whole script of what I'm supposed to say, and then I just talk on the camera. I'd pretty much retire from content creation. I'd be done with all that, the whole thing right there, because there's no point. There's literally, it defeats the purpose. This was actually the original thing that got me on this point of doing a Let's Talk about this. I really was not going to do a Let's Talk on the AI stuff because I just think it's overblown in a lot of cases. I think it's just tool sets that people are like, oh my God, it's the future. We've heard that every single time, every step of the way. We heard VR was going to be the future. It's still trying to catch on 10 years later. So yeah, like, just seeing that people are going to try and summarize, if you make a YouTube video, and then that was the one that I seen, like the podcast thing is a perfect example of like, you need to hear people's words. You need to hear them speak their words so you can see the delivery on which they're given their words. Do they actually know what they're talking about, or are they just grasping at the idea and trying to make a point out of something that they think they are trying to make a point out of? And, is it that, or, are they an expert? Are they not? If they can come up with a bunch of information, if they can really, hammer home the point of like, here is what the facts are versus here's what we think they are. You need to hear somebody's voice on that. And also text can be so manipulative. You need to get the context of the way that they're saying it, not just the text of what they're saying. I guess that'd be kind of the best way of putting it. You see it all the time where it's like Twitter, somebody will say something on Twitter, like, not really a celebrity, let's say, social media, a content creator. There we go. A content creator will say something on social media. Then people take it 10 different ways because you're just reading it, and when you're reading it, you're reading it in your own voice. You're not reading it in their voice. You don't exactly, especially if you don't know the content creator and you don't know exactly how they are coming, their approach at how they're saying it. It could be a joke. It could be something that they're semi-serious about. It could be something they're very serious about. It could be just like something they just said. It's just one of those things you just throw out there in the world. And then when they come back over, like say if you're a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, then you come back over to your channel and everybody starts asking you, and then it's like, okay, here's what I meant by this. Because text is like the bare minimum basic way of getting across an idea. the way to really get across an idea, like I said, you have to hear those words and like what is the form of those words, what is, the voice is so much more important than the text. So seeing something like this, like, AI generated summaries of your favorite podcasts in the world, it's such just like a slap in the face to anybody who is a content creator, who is somebody who is making video content like that. Like if I was, again, this is another thing too. Like I fear that people are going to take an AI bot, and they're going to start putting like if I make a Let's Talk video, and I'm making like 3 or 4 points in there, and the AI just comes in and is just like, well, he said this, this, and this, and this, and it puts into a short form paragraph. Nobody really watches the video. They just read the paragraph, and then the content of the video is just, because when you're watching a Let's Talk video, really it's just kind of like, unless you're going back, from a future event, and you're coming back to be like, haha, I said it here, or you're trying to remember what you said on video. That's really the only time you really come back. Talking points are really just a kind of a one-shot thing. Just like I say in gaming, it's like if it's a story-based game, you only got that one shot to get that story across. If it's spoiled or leaked or whatever, it just destroys the whole thing of what the moment is, because then you are not experiencing it. You are just experiencing what other people had, because a lot of times the text will also give a biased opinion on that situation or whatever. So like I said, like when it comes to gaming and stories, that's the reason why I'm so right there of like, okay, I don't want any spoilers in chat, lock my chat down. But yeah, like if I just, like I said, if there was an AI chat bots thing or whatever, AI bots that came into my comment section, I would one, probably just remove that off from the comment section. I mean, we already have bots bad enough that are doing giveaways and stuff in all these, or like, buy follower for follower stuff and everything. You look, and the account was made a month ago or whatever, or a week ago or whatever. But if the chats and the comment section just filled up with bots trying to giving summaries to the videos, and people just stop watching videos because they're just like, oh, this is what they were talking about right here. What's the sense of making videos? What's the sense of even doing anything on video form where you are talking at all? It would just totally just shoot the Let's Talk series I've been doing for 8, 9 years, 10. I don't even know how long I've been doing this series for, but it would just shoot the whole series right in the foot, because it's just like, then what's the point of making the video then if you're just going to read it? You're not actually going to see the example, hear the thought process of what I got to say. You're not going to hear that out. Then what's the point of me making the video? The creativity part of it is just gone at that point. Sure, you can use all this stuff to make a whole bunch of content, but the quality of the content, like I guess that's probably one of the things too, is this feels like it's trying to make quantity over quality. Like you're trying to make a lot of content instead of making really good content. Innovative new tools to save you countless hours. That's a wrap. Okay, so yeah. Again, I just like there's some of these ideas I would like to see used with other programs that are already around, like something that could help out with animations. Super cool. Something that would help out with so you don't have to like keyframe everything. It just kind of does it. That'd be awesome for if you're working in. I mean, we already see it with Unreal Engine and such. One of the things that you could actually see where you can see how AI works in gaming, which has been around for, like I said, like 30 something years now. AI in gaming, it's like a series of networks of like, okay, if you do A, then the AI starts doing, like you always hear AI or CPU. The CPU, you're fighting against the CPU. That's literally just an artificial intelligence that you're fighting against. And that is, it's programmed to do a certain set of moves, and react a certain way to whenever these buttons are pressed, you're supposed to react this way. Street Fighter 6 level 8 CPU right now, which is again, it's like a level 8 AI. it's super hard to beat. And it's one of those really weird things of like all this AI stuff that we see on social media. We're literally seeing it hands on, first person with Street Fighter Six's level 8 AI, where hardly anybody can beat that damn AI because it reacts right on that frame. It also input reads you and everything, similar to how arcades used to do back in the day. So again, whenever I see all this AI stuff, I'm just like, this is nothing new, but people are trying to act like it's the brand newest thing ever. This is just a different level of what we've already had. Even your graphics card has AI built into it, where it's using ray trace lighting and all that stuff. What do you think ray tracing is? It's an AI tech tool. Now, having those tools to be able to do cool stuff with, that's going to be something to maybe look out for. But the tools that take away creativity, like I said, I think that's such a wrong way of trying to develop tools. I think your development of tools should be around trying to push creativity, not just be lazy with creativity and have it do it for you. There's a reason why there is fewer, like, it's kind of like one of those things of like anybody can create content, but not everybody can create really good content. It's like that old rule of thumb when it comes to YouTube and making videos, live streaming, the whole 9 yards like that. Whether or not you're going to have people watching you, you can make a ton of content, but if people are bored, they're not going to stick around. You're not going to get too much views on it. You should be using AI to make your job so much easier. Like all these people, every time I see that, I'm just like, yes, I get you should be using AI. I already use AI. But the way that they're trying to push that whole thing of you should be using AI is just, you should be doing this the lazy way instead of actually working on the craft. The less you work on the craft, the less hours of practice you're going to get in on video editing and stuff like that. The less you're going to know of how do I set this up to make a cut just at the right time on the timeline? How do I blend these clips together to make it look seamless and not just like boop, boop, that's kind of what, like talk about something like a TikTok where they're doing these really seamless transitions and everything. I think that is really cool. Seeing some of the stuff that they're doing on TikTok where it's like all of a sudden, what was it? Like you see, the funny thing about TikTok is you see a lot of those videos pop up on YouTube and Instagram and such, where it's like you don't need TikTok. Those videos just show up everywhere else because everybody is now trying to monetize and they're trying to throw their content everywhere. But seeing a transition, that one dude that I never know what his name is, but he does all the transitions where all of a sudden like he jumps and he turns into an ice cube and lands on the table or something like that is super cool to see. It's creativity. He knows how to edit really well. He knows how to time everything really well. That's the cool stuff that I'd like to see in the future. Not where it's just like, here's AI wrote this whole summary out for you. Here's a summary of a video. It's that to me is like that's like danger territory right there. What's the sense of doing content creation if you're just going to write out something where somebody's just going to read it real quick? It's like basically it's like finding the script to a movie before the movie comes out. That's pretty much what you're creating right there. All right, so AI talk, pros and cons of it. There is actually a lot more pros than I thought there would be in this than cons. But again, it's just the tool set to innovate with. So if you like anything on this, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, the bells and the whistles and everything with YouTube, you know what to do. And yeah, I will. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about AI stuff anymore in the future. We'll see if there's anything really cool that catches my attention. I'll definitely make a video on it. But for the most part, again, you might see this stuff pop up in my videos, but I don't feel a need to talk about it. Like here's the tools to success, and they're not really the tools to success. They're the tools to be creative with. That's the only things that catch my attention. Everything else is just like meh side of things. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, I will see ya next time.